again, interesting, and all right. Like,
Queer,
just settle down.
questioning,
Questioning?
intersex, and ally lesbian.
You can't
Lesbian?
have two. You can't have two
Regardless,
concurrent cues in. That looks horrible. Space it out. LGBT.
regardless of whatever Chiz is writing there, I think as long as what that like weird scenario I described isn't happening, like who really cares? And
There's
how much
more.
time are we really spending in the bathroom anyway? Like
That law
Go ahead.
also prevented cities from having like a city or whatever their jurisdiction was minimum wage, and it also prevented LGBTQIAs from suing for gender discrimination. So, they're calling it the bathroom law. They're kind of sweeping under the rug the other aspects of it. For me, like, dude, I hate the law. You know, like, maybe a city should be able to set its own minimum wage. Maybe, although I'm not in love with that. Maybe, what was the other part? Oh, and you should definitely be able to sue for like gender discrimination. Like that seems like a thing. But also, like, the repercussions have been business related, and I initially, when I hear like, hey, businesses are hurting, I think, well, fuck the fat cats, right? Like, who cares? But it's not just that. Like, there are tons of people selling like glow in the dark necklaces at rock concerts that now aren't going to happen, right? There are people who sell popcorn at these things that aren't happening. The NBA is not coming, so like, hotels are going to have fewer people in that. You know, those jobs are not just Paris Hilton, right? She's not the only person who gets money from this. It goes all the way down to the people cleaning the rooms and such. Like,
If anything, the fat cats are fine because it's just North Carolina, and if they own a giant national business, they're like, oh well, sales in North Carolina are down, but we'll bounce back when people forget. But someone who just has a bakery in North Carolina, and maybe they want to bake a bunch of gay cakes. Maybe their business is probably doing really well if they're baking a bunch of cakes.
There's a lot of jobs. Like Chiz mentioned PayPal in the chat. I think Deutsche Bank is also not coming. And those two combined for like 1,500 jobs or 2,000 jobs, something like that. That's a lot of jobs. And the thing is, those are alpha jobs, right? Like, if you employ a new waitress, then you add one job. If you employ a new like investment banker, then that investment banker has like daycare and restaurants and yard care and all the beta jobs that go along with the alpha salaries. When I worked at Cisco, that was a big deal. They really, really liked Cisco employees because they're mostly like white collar six digit jobs, and those things fueled all kinds of other growth, like in the supporting ecosystem that goes around them. And now that's not coming. And so those 2,000 jobs might have been like, whatever, 4,000 jobs total, for all the people that exist around them. And it's like, just reverse course. Come on. Like, can you not see that this has been a huge mistake at this point? Can we just flip this back and say, all right, we realize we messed up. We're going to undo this thing. I don't know what's so hard.
I just feel like they were jumping the gun. It's like, why not just kind of let it be, and then if like you start noticing like, hey, ever since transgender started getting accepted, we're noticing a lot of people getting molested in bathrooms, and like, oh fuck, how could that be? But something tells me that's not going to happen, and if they just hadn't said anything, it would have been fine.
It's so typical of North Carolina Republicans are just like I said it a week or two ago, like a caricature of what you worry about Republicans being. Like all that shit about not passing science, not like making measuring climate change illegal on our coasts. That's talked about the thing with the gay marriage. Now, of course, that's backed off now, but it was already illegal, and they had to make it a constitutional amendment to have it illegal. Why? Just to like double down on hating gay people for some reason? It's so stupid. And it frustrates me. So when they pass this thing, like, oh, let's make it illegal for LGBTQIAs to sue for gender discrimination, it's like, really? Like, you assholes are just pressing your advantage every week, and I don't know why. You're passing bills against problems that we're not even having, and it's just like, it's so I'm not a huge Trump guy, but to me, Trump's biggest advantage is like, oh yeah, he's a Republican without all like the religious bullshit wrapping around it. Like, I think a lot of like Christians don't see themselves as trying to impose the Christian version of Sharia law. but that's what this is, right? They're trying to make it illegal to be gay, you know, and it's just like, just stop with your big government morality baked into it. It's wrong, and Trump seems to be a Republican that doesn't want to do that. So
Yeah, honestly, the Republicans would pull in. I want to say they pull in a lot of new people if they just dropped so much of that religious nonsense. If they still want to be like, I'm a Christian, you know, and I think that, you know, I'm against gay marriage and I think it's a sin, but, you know, I don't think it's my place to dictate to people what they can and can't. Like, if they want to still be like that, I'd be like, okay, fine. Like, as long as you're not being crazy with it. But they will not let that go because I think they're so afraid of all those old people just suddenly dropping them, which won't happen because they're not going to suddenly go over and become Democrats. They're like, no,
you're right.
I don't know. It seems like the Republicans are missing out by harping on this religious shit.
Yeah, it's just
A lot of them believe it, I think.
Oh, definitely. But it's just,
I think they're just big.
silly.
It's the modern day racism, you know, going after gay people, and they're on the wrong side of history, and people will look back on this.
Well, that's not a new thing.
I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying that, you know, what is new, what is going to change in like the country's moral compass is they're going to look and say, you know what, like hating on people for being gay was wrong. It was very much like hating on people for being black. And
it's the frontier for civil rights.
Yeah,
it's where things are changing and people are getting more of them. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I'm always up for giving more people more rights to do more things, just as long as you don't take away my right to do anything. Just leave my shit alone, and everything will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, you know, that they harp on big government, but
do you
they
think
sure
that
love
a
their
person
section
should
of
be
it.
able to marry an animal? I think we talked about that before, and I am for interspecies marriage. I feel like you should be able to marry your horse or your llama, whatever. Don't care. Has no impact on me.
It's like, I don't care except for all the like benefits you get for being married. Like your standard deduction doubles in your taxes.
Your llama gets them now.
You don't get a deduction for marrying animals.
Right?
You just have to admit, I'm a fucking weirdo and I'm marrying an animal. And you don't ask for... you want us to let you not pay as many taxes because you're fucking a horse at night? You can eat shit because that's not happening.
Yeah, right? You know,
Like, no.
otherwise... Like, I just quickly marry my stapler, right? Like, all right, you know what? There's huge advantages to being married. So me and this stapler, we're married now. Give me all those advantages.
Marry that guy.
You marry that guy behind you? Yeah. So, like, I really don't care.
Yeah, and marry him.
I don't care
He's
who you
DTF.
marry. It's not a problem. I'm married, and I'm not all wrapped up in, like, your marriage to that guy behind you somehow making mine less valid. Like, no, I don't think that way in the slightest. But I do think that you shouldn't be able to get out of taxes for marrying that guy behind you.
Okay. Well, how about this? Could I get a civil union with a llama?
Well,
So that the
they come
llama
with the
could
same
visit me
tax
if I'm in the
advantages.
hospital.
That was the whole thing for a civil union. It's just like a marriage. But if you had... I'd let you marry it. I just don't think that you should be able to get the benefits of marriage unless the thing you're marrying has a social security number.
Yeah,
That
I
llama
think
says
everybody
he's not
would be
going to
on-
do anything unless we're married. So you got to figure this out.
Well, you can marry him, but if he doesn't have a soch, you're filing single.
Fair
Hey,
enough.
Kyle, want to get married?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, can we get some
Wanna do
tax?
it on like the
benefits out of
next
it?
PKA trip? Get married.
Oh man,
Oh my god,
I don't
that would be so fucking funny.
I don't think that would play
If
too
we
well.
got married.
Nah,
Oh,
that's all right. I guess I don't think I should. I should probably like not do that. I feel like that would be.
It's a horrible idea.
Do you feel like there's
mistake.
people in your
Yeah.
life that would be upset that you married Murka instead of them? Is that what you're
I
saying?
think there's a couple people in both of our lives
No.
who might be upset if we didn't mention it and we came back married to each other. Oh my god. Oh, they'd be so pissed. They would be
They wouldn't
so
believe it.
angry.
You
No, I
have to
don't
show them the
think the
paperwork, and
document
then they'd
out.
just be like, "What the fuck were you thinking? You're married?
Yeah, you're talking to
Well,
your
you have to get an
girlfriend.
annulment right away. You have to get an annulment right away. What do you mean Kentucky's not an annulment state? What the fuck have you done?" It would be a real mess.
So do you guys ever talk about marriage with your significant others?
Only to say I'm not
Um,
interested.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the page I'm on, and she seems fine with it, and that's pretty important to me that she is okay with that because I don't plan on it.
Mine spoke up a little when I told her, but just fucking put her in her place, and she's good with it now. She's just happy that the beatings have stopped.
Yeah. I know there's advantages, but until you're like 1,000,000% sure, it's just so risky.
I'm not interested in entering into a marriage of really any kind with anyone, probably ever. Same thing with kids, you know. Just don't think that's something I'm interested in. Maybe, I mean, I got a dog that hates me. I don't need to make a little person that hates me or something. You know, I don't want that. Like,
I don't want to enter into any relationship like that, like what marriage is sometimes, where you double your responsibility, but you cut your power in half, where suddenly you got half as much authority, and you're still covering the field for all the errors, you know? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe that's an outsider looking in, but it looks scary, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that either. I always want that thing where I can be like, fuck it. I'm out. I'm done with all of this here and all of that there. Fuck it. I'm walking away. And I feel like if you marry someone, you can't do that anymore. If you do, they got to come with you. You got to be like, fuck it. We're out of here. And maybe I don't want it to be us. Maybe I want to get the photo Canada.